Alright guys, some of you have asked like what kind of gear, what all we bring with us camping, so I thought we would go through that in a video. We can show you everything that we pack and bring with us. So usually the first thing we do when we pull into camp is we pull our 4Runner table out of the roof rack, set that up so we got some horizontal space, and then we deploy the tent and get that opened up. Alright, so on the back of the truck, on the back bumper, we carry our high lift jack. It's the only jack we carry, so for changing flats or all the other stuff you can do with high lifts. We carry two 2.5 gallon Rotopacks of extra fuel. We carry the small 1 gallon Rotopacks of water, and these are kind of handy to handle around camp as far as pouring out of versus the 5 gallon. We carry the Max Tracks, 4 Max Tracks here for recovery. In the trasheroo, we carry trash. So this is like trash from last night's camping. We carry a clean waste portable toilet that the legs fold down, so you can either use like the bags or you can dig a hole and put this over the hole. Either way. Carry some of the 16-ounce propanes in here. We always bring way too many of these. We really only use propane for cooking anymore, and I think we're still on like the first bottle after 10 days. We also have a small tent that we can use for privacy, for like showering or wiping down with a shower pouch, thank you, or going to the bathroom if you're not in a secluded place. So that's pretty much it on the back. We carry this Murder Sport shovel. It's good for tending campfires, digging holes for going to the bathroom, digging yourself out in a recovery situation. Alright, so inside the back, you can see it's pretty loaded full. We've got some ARB drawers. I don't know if this is what I would choose if I was to do it over, but it works for us. I'd probably go with Goose Gear, but I've looked at the Goose Gear camp kitchen and our fridge is just a little bit too big to fit in the Goose Gear camp kitchen, so we're just rolling with this for now. But we got the tall drawer and a shorter drawer, and we keep kind of things that we often access in the drawers, that way we don't have to unpack anything to get to it. So like in this big drawer, we've got paper towels, some cereal that Emma likes for breakfast. We keep our Jetboil in here, Jetboil fuel. We've got a hammock. Emma loves a hammock. A couple of lanterns. We usually use this one because it's rechargeable, and then this one's more for emergencies. It's D-size batteries. GSI coffee press. Use this every morning. GSI coffee grinder. We've got a little Hot-A-Light kettle. We don't use this so often anymore now that we have the Jetboil, but sometimes we'll stuff like some oatmeal or instant grits just in this kettle so we don't have to unpack our kitchen to make breakfast. Coffee cup. Some plastic bowls for our breakfast. Toilet paper. This is just like some extra headlamps and miscellaneous batteries. This is just some survival type stuffs, water purification tablets and lighters and waterproof matches and trash bags. Bag of tools, coffee. Have to be able to make coffee without unpacking. And this pouch is just some camp type stuff, some shower pouches, more paper towels, In this bag, we've got a little tarp, a siphon for our 5-gallon water jug that's inside, some bungee cords, a funnel, some paracord, some screens that go over the doors, like if I was going to sleep in the truck, some ratcheting open end wrenches. These are a must for getting the tent on and off and reaching places. I don't know how you'd ever do that without ratcheting open end wrenches, or ratcheting box end wrenches, whatever they are. Got a tire iron, jumper cables, socket set, some big leather gloves for handling like fire stuff or hot stuff, some big beefy zip ties, probably know what this is. This is so that's it for the big drawer. In the little drawer, I've got some dividers in here. There's just something I got off of Amazon, but we've got a Bluetooth speaker we use for music around camp, some spoon, fork things, some koozies, scissors, Sharpies, can opener, bottle opener. Yeah, and this is all like frequently used stuff that we want quick access to without packing. A little salt and pepper, some hand sanitizer wipes, butane torch. This is good for lighting fires, or even if you have to do some emergency soldering or something like that. Sunscreen, bug spray, shower pouches. We don't really carry any kind of way to shower when we're camping, so we usually just use these and find a hotel or something every so often. Some gloves and microfiber towels, some windshield cleaner. Our windshield's always really dusty, and when we're filming we use that to try and keep it clean. Some binoculars, a multi-tool, some miscellaneous attachments for the roof rack, some Loctite, stakes for the tent and the awning, and a hammer for the stakes. We've got a little level that sometimes if we're trying to get really level with the tent. Some more lighters, a life straw in case we need some emergency water, more zip ties, some 4Runner stratchets, and skeleton key. So that's the little drawer. So if we're gonna make camp and do more than get into the drawers, the first thing we'll do is grab the pillows that we stick on top of the fridge, and then our fridge is a lot easier to access. So the fridge is on a slide, and it just barely clears everything and opens all the way up. And then we've got another 5 gallons of water on the slide back behind the fridge that we will siphon water out of into our 1 gallon containers if they need to be replenished. So then the other thing that we'll grab once we get the tent set up is sleeping bags we've got up here, and a net thing. We can leave sleeping bags in the tent and fold it up, but we added like 2 inches of memory foam, and with all 3 sleeping bags and everything up there, it's just a little tight getting it closed. So we usually pull a couple of the sleeping bags out. The cargo net that I mentioned is from Wrangler. We just put that in recently. That's kind of nice because we can throw pillows or a couple sleeping bags or something up in there, and then you can still slide the fridge out and access that without messing with the stuff that's up in there. Okay, on top of the 4Runner boxes, we've got our ready light from Free Spirit Recreation. If it was dark, that's like one of the first things we would pull out. So that's the stand for the ready light, and this is like the light solar panel part. We love that light. With the stand, it kind of gets the light up above you when you're cooking and not in your face, and then it just charges itself in the sun, which is great. Then we've got another little Coleman table, just for a second table. It's light and easy to move if there's just a place we want to sit and have a drink or set things on. And then Emma's chair is up there. And then over here on the side of the fridge, we keep a couple of 4Runner expander chairs. We got these recently and we like them. They're pretty comfortable. They fold up into a pretty small package that can fit just right in that little gap in between the fender well and the fridge, and we can still slide the fridge in and out, so it works pretty well for us. Okay, also on this side, sitting up on the fender well, we keep a small jackery. We don't use this a lot because we have the dual battery system, but we just leave this plugged into the factory outlet, so it charges while we're driving. And if we want to charge like something away from the car or take it up in the tent, we can do that. Alright, and then on the MOLLE panel on the passenger side, we've got a couple pouches with charging cables here. This is air tools like tire gauge and attachments for air. Got a fixed blade knife, a hatchet, a big flashlight, a fire extinguisher, first aid kit. And then in this side pocket over here, we've got some Clorox wipes, wiping stuff down. And I've got a recovery strap in this pocket. These outlets below, the factory outlets down here, are coming from our house battery. And that's where we plug in the fridge, so it is always powered. So on top of the larger drawer, we keep 4 4Runner boxes that are strapped down with stratchets, and they fit perfectly in that space. So those 4 boxes, the 2 on the bottom, are Amy and I's clothes. We each pack all of our clothes in one of those boxes. And then the top 2 boxes, one is our camp kitchen and one is our dry goods tote. So just any kind of food that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Okay, so now that we got those boxes out of the way, on this side of the truck, we usually just throw all the bags that like stuff goes in down in this area until we pack back up. Got a Frisbee, I guess. A tree strap for recovery. This side has more recovery stuff. The brown bag is our winch controller. The wireless isn't working on it, so we have to actually plug it in if we're going to use it. We got another Bluetooth speaker that's just magneted up there. This pack here has paracord, bungee cords, Velcro straps, things of that nature, carabiners. We have a couple of soft shackles and a thingy-majigger for using synthetic line. Snatch, it's like a replacement for a snatch block, I guess. And we have our ARB dual compressor mounted there permanently on top of that wheel well. And our solar controller. Inside the factory cubby where the factory jack used to be is the power block coming from the house battery under the hood, and And these wires that are coiled up are for our solar panels. We don't really use solar that often because we're usually moving every day, but if we're going to stay somewhere for more than one night, we'll set up the solar to recharge the house battery during the day. So the ARB dual air compressor is plumbed up to a 2.5 gallon Via Air tank. That is where the spare tire used to be. And then we have a quick connect here that we can hook our hose up to for airing up. So when we're getting near the end of the trail, we'll just kick on the compressor. It'll fill the 2.5 gallon tank, and then we can hop out and hook up the hose and start airing up. And the tank is usually good for about 2 or 3 tires until you're just kind of working off the compressor. So it does help. So this is all the stuff that is in our camp kitchen tote. So we only get this out if we're cooking. We got this pack of cooking utensils and some silverware, measuring spoons, a little cutting board, spatulas, knives, some little bamboo tongs. This is like a little wind protector to put around the stove. But it's actually kind of short for our stove, so I don't use it all that much, but it folds out. You can put it around a jet boil or a camp stove if it's really windy. Got some plates. We've been using this little Coleman burner that just sits on top of a 16-ounce propane. It's probably about $30, and we've kind of been considering getting bigger, nicer stove, but we just don't do much beyond like one-pot meals, soups and hamburger helper and sloppy joes and stuff like that. So it just kind of works for us. I guess the bad thing about it is it doesn't have very good simmer control. It's kind of just hot or off. And this is our little pots and pans. This is just a kind of cheap Amazon stuff. There's a pot and a little frying pan that it kind of nests with, and a lid. We got some napkins, some little cups, a measuring cup, more cups, and some other little plates. We usually keep one 16-ounce propane in here. Some plastic bowls, some regular bowls, some plastic plates if we're lazy, lighter for the stove, corkscrew in case we have wine. This is just some random like ketchup, soy sauce, some dish soap, a little scrubby pad. We just picked this up. It's like a multi-spice. You can probably find them anywhere. Have this little grill brush in case we're, I don't know, somewhere where we have a grill that we want to clean, or sometimes we'll just put a grill over a campfire. Some paper towels. That's all we carry for camping kitchen. Something we recently learned is like we kind of struggle with these latches on these 4Runner boxes, trying to close them from the bottom. But if you push right on the bin, it actually says like press right there, and I don't know, it took me a year to realize that. If you just press right there, they close pretty easy. And that's it. That's our camp kitchen in a box. So in our clothes totes, we've been using some of these packing cubes this year. They're just cheap off Amazon, but they're kind of nice to organize clothes, and you can use one for like dirty clothes and just keep them separate. So those have been kind of handy this year. So this is the back driver's side. And we've deleted 60% of the back seat. So Emma's got the 40% left to sit in. So this is kind of her domain. She's got a kind of an organizer on the back of the seat there, keep her stuff. And this year we use this little like table, so she can actually like do some Legos and things like that. The only problem is it's a little bit of work getting her in and out, but for the long car ride parts it's nice because she's kind of got a little workspace. And then on this side, where we've deleted 60% of the back seat, it's kind of our catch-all area. It's like a bag with Emma's clothes. I've got the drone here, a Camelback if we want to do some hikes. These two, we've got two more 4Runner boxes that sit on this homemade kind of plywood shelf, kind of made a flat area to strap down these boxes. Oh, the wind's really picking up. Let me close the door. So yeah, we strapped down these other two 4Runner boxes here, and these are kind of buried under. Here's all my camera equipment. I've got a little Canon M50 I use for hikes when I don't want to carry the big camera around, and big cameras, lenses, and whatnot here. In these totes we have stuff that we don't use that often. We have a buddy heater that we can run if it's really cold. We've got a little USB fan we run if it's hot. Just some extra supplies maybe that we can pull those boxes out once in a while and replenish our other supplies. So yeah, those boxes usually don't come out of the truck unless we really need to get to them. And then tucked under that plywood panel, we've got our LifeDo portable stove that folds flat sitting under there. We've got our hiking poles, some extra Diet Cokes for Mom, shoes and miscellaneous stuff shoved under there. We've got a tire repair kit under the front passenger seat. In this door panel we always keep a couple of bottles of water just for like if we want to brush our teeth or take our vitamins, that kind of thing. We've always just got a little bit of water right there that's easy to get to. In the front here, we've got the Expedition Essentials mount that we put some ram balls on, and we've got our S-Pod here for all of our lights, a mount for the camera. It usually sits up there when we're not using it and we're driving. A GoPro mount over there. Whoever's driving will usually put their phone here. And then this is an old iPhone XL or Plus or whatever the big one is. And we just use that mainly for Gaia. So we download all of our maps and stuff for when we're not going to have service, and that phone kind of stays there just for maps. And then we have some Spotify music downloaded on that too. GMRS mic here. We mounted the actual GMRS like underneath the console, kind of between here and the pocket, so you can't see it. The mic just plugs into this RJ45 jack that we put there, and it always has power, so we can leave the radio on even when we switch the car off. And then this one USB that we added here is actually an extension off of the base of the GMRS radio. So that one USB jack right there always has power, even with the key off. Inside the console, we keep our Stone deflators in there so we can grab them quickly and air down without having to open up the back or anything. Got an O-light I keep in there. Just some random stuff, chapstick, I got a drone battery, seatbelt cutter and glass breakers, some extra fuses, Sharpie, a little thing of super glue. And then underneath that, we keep all of the headlamps in this cubby. So if we roll into camp in the dark, we can each grab a headlamp and have some light as soon as we get out of the car. We've got a small battery bank for if we want to charge phones away from the car, multi-tool. This cubby, we put the mic for the radio when we're not using the GMRS. Some miscellaneous GoPro stuff. And then a DC charger for camera batteries. So this will charge the battery for the R6 and the M50. And up here we got a couple of cases for sunglasses, a little place to put like wallets and money. We got the speaker for our GMRS radio and a couple of handheld radios that we can give to friends or use for spotting and that kind of thing. This Molly panel thing is from Victory 4x4. I kind of like it. The only bad thing is it's mounted to this plastic thing here, which is screwed in solid on this side, but on this side it's like friction connectors, and I've undone it enough times that one of them wants to unpop, and I can't find those exact connectors. They're kind of unique without ordering a whole new overhead console thing. What did I forget?
You won't know that you forgot it till you put the camera away. That's what we always do.
Should we show them the supercharger? So we just had this supercharger installed right before we left for this trip, and so far so good. It's been flawless. Makes a huge difference on the highway. You don't really need it on the trail in 4Low, you don't really notice it, but on the highway, you're trying to pass on a 2-lane highway or, you know, go up a grade, a highway speed.